Okay, so let's finally put a scrapbook page together. I'm going to talk you through my process step by step. This is going to be quite a basic one. It's going to be quite simple, not too many steps, but I will explain each stage as we get to it, why I do something the way I'm doing it. You can by all means then follow along if you want to. Now, as I said, the page starters papers are absolutely ideal. There's so much detail in these already. You can use both sides. As I said, a lot of pattern papers are double-sided. Now with these, you need to take the top piece off. You've got some writing here. So this is where my trimmer comes in really handy because I can see really clearly where that line is and I can just take that away. And this is going to sit on a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of paper. As I say, you do not have to scrapbook in this size if you prefer not to, but this is 100% my preferred size. Now, it may be tempting to fill your page. I'm going to do a video a little bit later on in the series about something called white space, which is giving you the freedom not to fill the entire page with colour and pattern and embellishments, but instead to embrace having some blank spaces and how to make that really sort of lend itself to the more detailed spaces and enhance those more. That probably sounds a little bit too technical, but it's a really good technique to learn and be comfortable with because it does actually mean that you're then using less product as well. So I'm going to take the coordinating clear paper. I say clear paper, it's not clear at all. It's got a kind of distressed pattern to it. But this, as you can see, the dark blue is coordinating here with this beautiful pattern. Now I've chosen this because, as I said, I want to use the photo here. So this is going to be my base. Now if you want to scrapbook in this size, that can be an entire scrapbook. This could be an entire page for you done. Pop your photo on, maybe die cut one of the sentiments. There we go. The work's done for you. I'm going to take it a little step further today. Just do a little bit more than that, but not a lot. So again, I'm going to take the top strip off of this coordinating paper. Now, things like colour choices is something, again, that is very, very personal. So you can go with one of your favourite pattern papers, choose your colours from there, or you can choose your colours and then pick your papers afterwards. It's entirely up to you. I like to find a paper, a base that I love, which was this blue one, and I work out from there. So for me, I started with this. I chose the very pale blue as the background, and I'm going with that. I also like to add a lot of contrast, so by adding in this sort of deeper, darker blue, I'm adding contrast. Now, you don't always have to stick with straight edges either. So for this one, I'm going to bring my focal point down into this corner of the page, and I'm going to put this one sheet in two parts there. Can you see how that's now lifted that up? So we've got layering going on already. Now you can do a lot of layering or a little layering. Honestly, it's entirely up to you. I do not stick anything down. There's no glue whatsoever until I've placed all my elements and I'm happy with them. Then I start thinking about sticking things down. At this stage, I'm thinking more about the background though. So the background of my page is a little bit plain at the moment. I'm going to leave what I call white space, and again, keep an eye on the playlist on YouTube because we will have a video explaining that in more detail in a little while. But I want to add a bit more pattern, a bit more texture around here, coming out from under these paper layers. This is where your rub-ons are going to be perfect. Okay, so let's open the rub-on pack. We do have a wooden stick. As I said to you, these are a little bit like the tattoo transfers we used to have when we were little. Obviously, you're not putting these on your skin. We're putting them on paper, and we don't need any water for these. So we have got some absolutely fabulous sheets. There's two of each here. We've got lots and lots of designs. I'm in love with, I love these. So we've got some, what are they called? Dandelion clocks. So we've got some of those here. I'm going to actually cut those out, which is where my scissors come in really handy. We've also got some splats, but I'm going to trim around these. And what I love about rub-ons is it's only the printed design that will transfer. So you can trim right up to there. So I'm just going around these dandelion clocks as well. I'll leave that pink splat there because the pink isn't really working with the colours today. So I've got that still to use another time. And what we can do with these is peel off the backing. So it's slightly tacky, and then just place this, let's say under here. I think that's nice, adds a little bit of texture down here. And then let's do the same at the top also. So peel off the backing here. And let's tuck it under, see where it works, just there. So I haven't peeled the backing off yet, or the top layer off yet. I'm just positioning. I can still lift these up and move them if I want to, but as and when I'm happy, I just simply take my wooden stick, and this is one element I would usually sort of stick down first. I don't have to do this now, I'll do it for the speed of the video, but again, you can leave those there while you rearrange all of your elements and get everything on, and then stick them down. But to apply rub-ons, we're just going to use the wooden stick, brush over, and then lift up that top sheet, and we'll be left with the ink, the design on our paper or our cardstock. So just burnish that all over. As you start to peel, if you can get your finger underneath, my nails are getting a little bit long at the moment. You can just see that has been left there absolutely beautifully on my paper. No residue or anything, and everything's gone from the backing sheet. This can be thrown away now. I'm going to do the same with this one up here. Don't worry about these moving around. Now, it's a good idea as you're starting to lay elements down, if you like the look of where it's going, but you're worried about moving things, if you're worried about maybe forgetting where you wanted to put something, it's a good idea to take a photo. Use your phone, maybe the camera on your phone, just take a little snap of everything laid out so that you can look back at it in case things move around and you think, oh, I can't quite get it how I wanted it before. So let's now just reposition things roughly where they were. Now bear in mind, when you're scrapbooking as well, you're likely to put this into an album which you can purchase, or maybe in a frame. So try to keep a lot of the elements reasonably flat so that you don't have too much lifted up and too much dimension to worry about. So they are how rub-ons work, and I think I'm going to go with some, let's have a look at these. Now we have got some beautiful ephemera here. I'm actually mixing collections. If you work with a collection, so this is the Page Starters collection, this is the Page Starters collection as well in ephemera, the colours are all going to work perfectly, but I'm going to mix things here a little bit because I can see that there is a beautiful sentiment here that works really well with the colours of my photo. It's a kind of a brown, and I think that's going to sit nicely just there. And the same perhaps with some of these sentiments. So this time there's a little tag there that would sit nicely just up there, I think. Let's just see if there's anything else I want to add. Maybe a butterfly. I think this butterfly is very pretty, and I think that would sit nicely just up there. As I say, I am going to be keeping this particular page very, very simple compared to how I usually would with a scrapbook page, but we will build up our skills and our techniques as we work through this series. So as you can see here, I've got layers of paper, I've got my photo, I have got my sentiment, which it kind of encapsulates everything that's going on, just as a title. I've got a little phrase, a little bit of embellishment here as well, and I've got a bit of detail. Now we can go in with stamps. So for example, we could use these stamps here. I could stamp these sentiments and I could have them coming out of the side of the photo. I've got the postage stamps here as well. I could use those. There's some that look like little tape strips, so I could stamp those to make them look as if they are holding the photo on. Honestly, the possibilities are absolutely endless, but I have so much more to show you. So I am going to just adhere all of these down. I'm going to be using double-sided tape to stick everything down, and then we'll just add some finishing touches to wrap up this video. Now that's all adhered down. As you can see, if I lift my page up, that's not going anywhere. Now, something else that is a complete preference with scrapbook pages or journal pages is whether you document publicly as such, so anyone can read it, or whether you document secretly. So you can create a tag or a pocket for some writing to go into. Some people like to actually write on the reverse of their scrapbook pages so that the details are there but not on show. So if I was to do some text, I would probably put this tag just about here. So I think I'll glue this one on. And this is from the ephemera pack. So it's got some lines on it, and I would usually handwrite this. Some people like to go to their printer and print the details out, but I will write those details on in a little while. I know that this is my father in the middle. This is in around about 1950, 55. This is my nanny, and this is my father's older sister there as well. So I can put those details on there, their names, maybe their dates of birth, and things like that, and the year. Now, I'm not sure where that was. I believe they were coming out of church, but there's, you know, I can put as much as I know on there. And then the finishing touches for me are always some more embellishments. And this is where I tend to go a little bit crazy and put, if anything, too much on, but I'm going to try not to. So I think I'm going to actually tuck some florals under here, and because I've now brought in some mustard colours, I'm going to echo that just up in this top corner here as well somewhere. So it could be there. I think coming out just there would work perhaps. I might need to fiddle that around, but I've just tucked that under the photo, so when I glue the centres. I don't tend to glue the very edges exactly for this reason. So I can then go in and tuck elements under. Something else you can do with your embellishment, which I think I'm going to do here, it's too late now, I have done it, is I can just chop that in half, and we can now slot this. If I just take this half as well, we could slot that just like so. There we go. So that's actually made use of the one piece of ephemera in two places. It's spread it out a bit, used it even more, so I love that. I'm quite happy with that as a scrapbook page. Like I say, nice and simple, reasonably plain, certainly absolutely achievable if you are a beginner. And if this is your first look at scrapbooking, make sure, as I say, you subscribe to the Arden Creative YouTube channel, and make sure you are following the playlist, because we are going to add weekly videos sharing with you more tips and techniques for scrapbooking. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you again soon.